Okay, so I kind of want to discuss a little bit, and I like the messages I hear when it comes to these topics, and but it says no, but I like everybody has something important to say, and I just want to add what has been revealed to me. That's all. I don't want to change what anybody else had to say or have to say. I just want to add what has been given to me. And this is about boys, okay? Excuse me. And because, black boys have been in trouble. Black girls have been in trouble too. Now, I'm going to also say what I said years ago to somebody when I did home health in LA. I said this thing to quite a few people. And I said, girls need to get in order. You need to get the women in order. You keep looking at boys, you keep looking at males because this is a so-called patriarchy that you keep looking at males while the girls are messed up. The girls are traumatized. The girls, their wombs all messed up. They have all kinds of trauma in their wombs, all kinds of everything that goes on in this so-called, in that black community, whether it's crime, whether it's molestation, whether it's rape, whether it's drugs, whatever it is, dysfunctional families, whatever it is going inside a lot of them girls, and a lot of low self-esteem because the black community just has low self-esteem. I'm going to say this. Really, nobody have any room to talk about anybody with low self-esteem. Nobody I can think of in the whole world, but especially the so-called black community have no room to talk about somebody else who ain't got no self-esteem, because the black community had any type of self-esteem, it would not be where it is. Excuse me, I'm driving late. I've told you guys I drive a lot. So that's why I'm trying to talk loud. But the black community would not be where it is had they had as a collective any type of self-worth or self-esteem. Now, don't get me wrong, I understand this is a matrix as well, so I'm not going to be ignorant to the fact that something else is going on artificially. Let me say that. Because the black community is a group of people that are not connected to their true self, their God self. They're not connected to their God self. They're basically automatons, okay? I learned that from a person. They just operating off their five senses, which a lot of us are kind of conditioned to do because of this society where we are kind of consumed with having to pay bills and having to raise children and all that stuff. And when you consume with things like that and a bunch of responsibilities in this type of society, you will always reduce to your five senses. You don't move further. You don't evolve because of the type of society has you reduced to a physical illusion. And that is the black community. That's a lot of communities, but see, the target has been the black community. And it's because of who they are, not in this particular statement, but who they were before this fallen state. You know what I'm saying? And you have certain powers that be that want to make sure certain people, certain beings don't rise up again to be that gods they once were. So they gotta do things artificially also to dumb them down and have them all jumbled up. So I even saw that. I saw that was done. Okay. So it ain't just them. It's things that's being done by controllers of the matrix that make sure they stay stupid and dumb. So it's outside stuff. I don't like the word outside. There's no such thing, but you know what I mean. There's other controllers that's making sure they stupid, right? But I want to say this. Black people are very spiritual. That's great. But it comes to realization of the particular society that you're into. And although black people like to have all this faith and you like to be spiritual, it helps to learn to have a little logic, okay? It helps to have logic. Sometimes you might want to see how so-called white people do things. or Jews or whoever. The reason being, because I'm going to get back to this. I did say that the girls need to get in order because a lot of things go. They're the ones that's giving birth to the boys, but no, not too many people are talking about their healing or getting them in order. And getting them in order when it comes to a so-called black woman is not the way the white women. See, black people have a habit of looking at white folks and trying to copy off of what they do as is some kind of manual for who they're supposed to be. But black people are in a fallen state, not white people. White people are trying to evolve. Black people are in a fallen state. Okay, they're called black, but that's a reduced name. Like, black means nothing. So, but that's just what this community is called, black. So that's just what I'm calling it. And it's because that name, black has been accepted, so I'm not going to change it, because I feel a certain way. If the community wants to be called black, call it black. It's not my responsibility to change how somebody else want to be called. Okay, but see, black people and like people want to compare the so-called black women to white women and Latina women. Let me tell you something. Black women need to, what black women, so-called black women around the world, not just black women in the United States, Africans all over, dark skin, indigenous women, okay? What they need to do is not try to be all feminine like the white woman or whoever they trying to compare black women to, because let me tell you something. Feminine had a whole different definition when so-called black women were on their throne anyway. Feminine had a different type of definition. It wasn't always about what you see what the Europeans want to show you. And I'm not trying to be all pro-black and racist when I say it's not about what the Europeans want to show you. I'm just saying that it seems like people want to tell black women to be like white women. So you're trying to be like, you're telling black women to not get back to who they were millions of years ago. You're telling them to be like some women that came after them. So black women, what they need to do, I'm going to be totally honest, because it looks like, because this is all about the black women, the black boys here. So let me just make it clear. Black boys will never be okay. They will die. If this black woman don't get herself together, they will die. You gotta understand, he comes from the black woman's womb. If she don't get herself together, he's dead. So it's like you can only do so much for a black boy if you don't get the women together. It's only so much you can do for black boys, unless you're going to create black boys in some kind of petri dish and try to raise him as some kind of robot the way you want him to be raised, or he's going to be born of some kind of Rottweiler. I don't know how you're going to create other black boys besides him coming from that womb. If that womb ain't healthy, then something needs to be done to the person who this womb belongs to, right? That's black women. Something is wrong with black women, and I understand I get what's wrong with black women, so this is not to point the finger. What I'm saying is a lot of people keep putting the male first, and that's why black boys are going to die, and I'm going to be frank. That's why I don't try to grow the channel. I don't try to monetize the channel or nothing, because the stuff I'm about to say, they're going to die until you learn how to address the black woman. And I'm not talking about no harsh way, telling her she need to be a white woman. I ain't talking about that. Anybody who tell a black woman to be a white woman, anybody who tell a black woman to be a Hispanic woman, anybody who tell a black woman to be an Asian woman, just cancel their asses, because black women been around for millions of years. They don't need to be like, I'm going to say it, they don't need to be no demigods. And I said it, they do not need to be a demigod. You telling them to be demigods. When you telling them to be like that white woman, you telling them to be a doggone demigod. Black women, excuse my passion, but I don't think this is me speaking. Not something that's more powerful than me is speaking now. Okay, because this ain't me speaking. I just got some doggone force that came through. Black women need to isolate themselves, because people are giving them fucked up advice. People are giving them fucked up advice. These were gods. They were gods. Let me tell you something. God came from doggone patriarchy. They were bigger than gods. Black women need to get away from everybody and get back to who the hell they were. And if they want to have some sons, then they're gonna have them. They're gonna create the sons that used to be very powerful, and they're gonna create the sons that used to be warriors. But this bullshit in the United States of America ain't producing no healthy motherfucker. Excuse my cursing. But oh well. I'm like Bobby Hemmett right now. All the crap that's happening in the world, hopefully ain't no curse word gonna offend you too much, because there's so much happening in the world anyway. It ain't nothing compared to them high gas prices. Okay? It's almost like the black community needs to stop producing children. They can't seem to get it together. And you know what? I was told a lot of black women don't have it. They're not in trouble like you think they are. It's a lot of them are dying. I'm gonna be completely honest. And I know a lot of us have hard times too. Some of us are being purified, and some people are being moved out the way. Okay? Some people are being moved out the way. Because unfortunately, a lot of so-called black women are very poisonous. They're poisonous. Okay? And we're in a different type of dimension too. So, but I had to get a little passionate for a minute there, because I don't know where people are so capped to the point where nobody is saying that this black woman needs to get herself together in order for her sons to be healthy. I don't understand why that seems to be missing. Why is it missing? What about these women that talk about all these herbs and these wounds? They seem to like to focus on the man too. What's going on with them in their consciousness that this man keeps this black male cannot get out their consciousness enough to say the black woman needs to get herself right? What is going on in the consciousness of even black women that they cannot see that? Why can't they see the black woman need to get, she the one with the womb, why can't they see she need to get herself together so she can produce a healthy damn man? I've been so frustrated for the last few years because nobody wants to say it, and it pisses me off. They keep wanting to pray for these black boys, and I get that. I get it. But I'm gonna tell you something. I'm not gonna pray for any black male until you can see that the black woman needs to get herself in order. Until anybody can see that the black woman needs to get herself in order, I ain't praying for no black male. He's gone. He's dead. Until the black woman gets herself together, the black male is dead. Unless they're going to create him from a petri dish and create some kind of robot or artificial intelligence. Other than that, if he coming from this black woman's womb, she need to get back in order. It ticks me off. And no, I don't pray for black males. I do not. It is not because I got a problem with it. It's because for some reason, people can't see it. They can't see it. It was a matriarchy before there was a patriarchy. And I'm going to tell you something right now. We're still in a matriarchy. There was never a patriarchy. We're in a very toxic matriarchy right now. There is no patriarchy. We see men pushed to the forefront, but women are behind the scenes running shit. I'm telling you. Because when I move that veil, I see black men, I see white men, I see all these men doing all this crap. But when I really move that freaking veil and see behind it, I see a white woman and I see a black woman. That's what I see. We still in a matriarchy, a toxic one. It's a matriarchy that's out of order. It's a matriarchy that's not in line with nature. It's a matriarchy still and it's very toxic. It's a toxic matriarchy where they allow these men to do whatever the heck they want to do, create all these wars, because these women like that stuff. Because these men cannot do what they do. I don't care what anybody tell you. And I actually learned this. These men cannot do what they do had it not been for the feminine energy that allows it to happen. If these men did not have the blessings of a lot of this feminine energy, including certain so-called black men that we see on YouTube that I guess tears down black women, right? But it's a lot of feminine energy that blesses that though. TS, you know his initials, Tommy S. This Kevin. I don't care nothing about either one of them, but what I'm saying is that they get a lot of blessings from a lot of feminine energy to keep going. So and you can only blame those guys so much for what they do when you got so much. So why do women pay them any attention, period? Because I'm going to tell you something. Yeah, you got different, I don't watch Kevin Samuels, but I heard now it's different ethnicities of women on his show now. But a lot of black women were calling in at first. It was a lot, after he dogged out that one woman, that video that went viral, talking about she's average at best and she's going to die alone or whatever. It seems like black women double down and calling this man's show for love advice. Why would you watch him dog out somebody who looks like you and then call him for love advice? You just see him dog out another so-called black woman, but black women seem to have doubled down on contacting this man for advice. So what does that tell you? That Kevin Samuels, I'm going to call his name, and I'm not offended by anything he does because I understand that he is where he is because of feminine energy. Black women are the ones that gave this man their energy for him to be where he is. So why get mad at him? Same thing with Tommy S. A lot of black women support that man. It's almost like a lot of black women, because I keep saying that black women need to get in order. And a lot of black women who will spread these kind of messages, like what I'm about to say right now, they had to get offline because other black women got offended that they were saying that, and they were under attack by black women. Like black women would attack their channels. It was a main one that really got on black women. And she got her channel shut down by black women because they didn't want to hear it. They just want to keep talking about black men and what black men ain't doing right. But get yourself right. When I say get yourself right, I'm just talking about in general. Black women need to, right now, probably need to isolate themselves because they cannot be like the white women. It's like, this is not your world. Like, black women seem to feel like this is their world. I get marriage, I get all that stuff, I get patriarchy, I get that you want to feel all feminine, I get that you want to be soft and you just want to, let me tell you something. If I deal with somebody because I want them to take care of me, it's not because I want to be like the white woman, it's because I want the freedom to not have to think about work all the time so I can get back to who I was. So if I deal with anybody who's going to take care of me, it's because I need that time, I need the freedom to get back to that genesis of who I was. Not because I'm trying to be like a white woman and live carefree. Not wrong with that. But that's the problem with black women, is that they're looking at white women because somebody keep comparing them to white women. I get that they keep being compared to white women, but you're comparing yourself to a demigod. I keep telling you, those are demigods. They're beneath you. Honestly, they're actually subordinate. But now they look superior because of the particular position that you're in because of a fall. So they look superior, so a lot of black women are trying to be like white women. But really, you're trying to be like something lesser than you. So what black women need to do, because there seems to be too many distractions, is just to kind of isolate yourself. But it seems to be hard in a capitalistic type of world. I would say as many black women who are able to need to get to some kind of area where they can isolate themselves and they can afford to stay there for a long period of time just so they can get to know themselves. And the United States don't seem like it's able to do that for a lot of black women. So a lot of black women might need to get away somewhere where they can just be kind of to themselves, because right now they're trying to be like lesser gods. Like right now they're trying to be like lesser gods. And the black male will never be right until she finds out who she is. It's just that simple. I thought I was going to say something different, but it seems like something came through and wanted me to push this message, because I was going to say something totally different. I was going to say something totally different. I'm going to tell you in the 5 minutes or less what I was going to say. But I was pushed to say this. This is what I was going to say. When I said to about white folks, and oh yeah, I say black people have a habit of being very spiritual and having all this faith, and they might need to be a little bit more logical. That's how I started off. They might need to be a little bit more logical and look at Jews and look at, so-called, other groups of people. Look at how they do things, right? And what I was saying is that black people allow poison too much in their communities. They have too much patience. They allow poison in their communities. Black people, they do not separate the rotten apples from the good apples. What black people like to do is allow the good apples to sit in the bag with so you have like maybe 5 good apples, and then you have 20 rotten apples. And what you would do, or let's just say that you might have 5 rotten apples and 20 good apples. Let's say it like that. But you still got to pull out them rotten apples. You still got to pull out the rotten apples. And black people have a problem with pulling out the rotten apples. They want to just give everything and everybody a chance. That is the problem. So this is what I was going to say for the sons. But that wasn't the main message that needed to be pushed. That's why I didn't say it. I was pushed in a different direction. Because it starts with this black woman, that's why. But I was going to say this, that's least important. But I remember when there was a lot of bashing, when it really was going on. This is around 2015. It started in 2006, but I wasn't on YouTube around that time. I started looking at YouTube mostly around 2010, but I did not look at any black content like that. And so I didn't really start looking at black content until like 2014. And that's when I realized that in the black content I was looking at wasn't really discussing the bashing, right? They were doing reviews of different TV shows. If I was looking at black content creators, they were doing reviews like Ashley Miller, Bundy Blue. That was when I used to watch TV. So they still didn't talk about no bashing. So I still didn't know that was going on until I started looking at Hebrew Israelites and stuff like that. And then that's when I learned about Tommy Sotomayor. And that was in 2014, 2015. I didn't, you know what I mean? So that was around the time I started trying to get certain people to understand when I would talk to them face to face. I would try to get a lot of women to understand a lot of this bashing that's going on about black women, and there's a lot of black men that's online bashing black women. I said what folks fail to understand is that this is going to hurt the black boys more than it's going to hurt the black girl. Yeah, the black girl is going to have her feelings hurt. She's going to feel like this guy, she can't have her. The most black girls are going to be hurt by is just going to be emotional. They're going to feel like, oh, who am I going to marry? Who am I going to have kids by? He don't want me. So it's mostly going to be like a lot of ego stuff. But black girls are not in that big of trouble. They were not in that big of trouble. The reason why a lot of black women were in trouble for allowing that to happen is because they did not, once again, I don't know what the problem is that they couldn't see where that was opening a door. That was opening spiritual doors for them to be attacked. So a lot of black women didn't, but they couldn't see it. They couldn't see that this was going to hurt them in that way. But if black women could have seen that that was opening up spiritual doors for them to be attacked, and they would have acted accordingly, then actually they would not have been, it wouldn't be a problem. Whatever these guys had to say would not be a problem for black girls or black women. Had they protected themselves and understood that was a spiritual door that was open. But I said that a lot of black boys are the people who are in the most danger are black boys with these guys going online bashing black women, because a lot of them don't have fathers. They don't have those strong father figures, okay, to steer them in a different direction. And so what's going to happen is, this is what I was saying, a lot of them boys are going to be raised by Tommy Sotomayor. A lot of them boys are going to be raised by Sergeant Willie Pete. A lot of them boys are going to be raised by other black men on YouTube or wherever they are that's bashing black women. A lot of them black boys are going to be raised by those kind of men, because They didn't have strong father figures in their household. So those are going to be the kind of men that was going to raise them. That's what I kept trying to get a lot of black mothers to understand, is that because these boys don't have strong male role models around them, they're gonna be influenced heavily by Tommy Sotomayor and now Kevin Samuels. So the black boys and black men, but mostly black boys, are at risk for going extinct. Not the black girl though, not her, but the black boy is at risk for going extinct because he can't produce himself through this white woman. He can't do it. The bloodline goes through the woman. He can't produce himself again and duplicate himself with another womb because the womb is the one that actually, carries the bloodline. So he's just going to breed himself out. So he's at risk for going extinct because these black boys do not have proper male role models. Thomas Sotomayor, Kevin Samuels, Sergeant Willie Pete, and all those other black men, they have raised these boys that we see today that now have no problem in these schools or wherever they go and dogging out these black girls and black women. They're going to go extinct. Okay? Because I saw a video with the white guy. This was years ago. This is what I was talking about. The black people probably need to understand logical thinking and stop just giving everybody a chance. Don't let the rotten apples stay with the good apples, because now those good apples, even if they outnumber, like it's 20 good apples and 5 rotten apples, but you keep leaving them all in the same bag, then those 20 apples, one by one are going to start become rotten too. And that's what happened with the black community. This is what happened with the black boys, and this is why they will be extinct. Black American black boys, it's a different bloodline than Africans, okay? And it's like, you can't just say, well, these Africans, and they're like, no, that's different energy, that's a different bloodline. I get that. And let me tell you something. Black people populated the whole earth, okay? I don't like reducing black people to one continent because, number one, the earth was not separate until recently. When I say recently, it's thousands of years ago. But black people have always populated the planet, and it was not separated by all these different states and continents and cities. So, I hate to just reduce them to one particular land when they populated the whole planet. The whole planet belongs to them. The whole planet belongs to black people, dark-skinned people. So I can't just, you know what I mean? I can't just reduce them. I can't just reduce black people to one continent. That's an insult, because now that's once again making white people superior. When we do that, that makes white people superior. That makes more light-skinned people superior. I'm not against light-skinned people. I'm just saying that there is a big thing with this colorism going on in this caste system, which is nobody's fault if they're light-skinned. It's that the caste system is something that's created by higher powers. So I'm not trying to get on anybody who's light-skinned. I don't care about that. Okay? But, yeah. So, but as we see it now, yes, black Americans, the true black American male, that's a different energy than just regular Africans. Like the black American woman, that's different energies than just Africans. That's different energies, and that's different bloodlines. So you can't just let the black woman go. You can't just let the black American man go and say, well, we got folks in Africa. That's not the same. It's not exactly the same energy. It's not the same bloodline. It's not. Okay. So anyway, yeah, and to end this, I was gonna say what this white man was saying, right? And this was years ago. This is when he was. This is when Tommy Sotomayor was really. I guess a lot of people was talking about Tommy Sotomayor, and he got a lot of white folks' attention too. Well, he still do, I guess, but. This white guy was saying that, this guy, he was calling Thomas Sotomayor a cancer. That's what I'm going to say how he said it. It's a white guy that recorded video, and he was like laying on his couch, And he said that Thomas Sotomayor is a cancer to the community. And that's not good for the community to keep people like that. He's a cancer, and that cancer will end up spreading. That cancer will end up spreading. And, you know, he said you need to get rid of that. And to see people, that's a problem. You know, with the Jews, the reason I brought up the Jews, because something happened in a Jewish neighborhood where a little boy was murdered or something. And them Jews ain't taking no time to put up cameras wherever. And I get that they have more money, so I get that. But black people need to tap into their power too, because whatever the Jews have, whatever money they have, if black people can tap into their true power, they're going to have more than anybody that's in any kind of power. So I'm not even going to make any excuses. Black people need to tap into their power, and they did not want to do it. So I'm not going to give the excuse that somebody got more money when the power that's lying dormant in black people is more powerful than anything you could imagine. I'm not going to make any excuses. But yeah, so it took one little boy to get murdered in this Jewish community. I don't know exactly where it is because I just heard the story. And they just got together. They put up all kinds of cameras. They had all kind of neighborhood watch. They had all kinds to make sure that this stuff don't happen. But what the black community has done is they see these guys shooting up themselves, shooting up children, shooting up their mothers, shooting up their grandmothers, shooting up their fathers in these neighborhoods. And what do black people want to do? They want to have all this faith and still keep them around. I mean, okay, if you want to, you get that these guys might be trouble, but then you need to put the black people didn't put their foot down because they wanted to listen to certain black leaders that wanted to blame everything on the white man. What black people did was, instead of, okay, you don't want to just throw these guys away because they're trouble and they're just misguided and they need to be guided in the right direction. But black people ain't do that though. What black people did was they blamed the white man on the fact that black men were killing each other and killing children and killing their mothers and grandmothers and fathers and grandfathers. What black people did was blame the white man, and they do this with Black Lives Matter. They still did it in doggone 2000s with Black Lives Matter. It's almost like they make the white man a god, and here's why. Because they can witness all this crime going on in their neighborhoods. But they're going to wait till a white cop kills a black man and a black criminal at that, because there's a lot of innocent black men that get killed and get put in prison, but they for some reason want to cry for the criminals. That shows that these are some evil kind of people. They evil. You know what I mean? They evil. And that's probably why the black community is, I ain't going to say that. They're evil. How you gonna cry for the criminals and you got innocent black men and black women getting messed up all the time every day? Did you cry for the criminals? That shows that black people are freaking evil. I'm just saying. Okay, so anyway, yeah. And I'm gonna end that there. But yeah, black people should have cut the cancer. They should have cut this. They should have addressed the black men. If you don't want to throw them away, I get it. I don't believe in throwing folks away, but I do believe and there needs to be a restructuring. And black people didn't want to do that. They wanted to blame the white man. And what they did by blaming the white man on everything that a black person does, specifically a black male does, is they made they made the white man superior over the black man. Every time they want to blame a white man on anything a black man does, they make the white man superior. They over and over again, they make the white man a god, because they saying that this black male cannot control himself and he needs the white man to put him in order. It's almost like the black male has no self-control. He needs this white man. That's what they doing every time they blame everything a black man does on a white man. They're saying that he has no self-control and he needs this white man to guide him. So there's a big sickness. But I'm done talking. That part I was going to say first, but I'm going to be honest with you, that was actually the least important part, even though it seems important, even though we like to look at Thomas Sotomayor and Kevin Samuels and the fact that these black males don't have a positive male role model. We can look at that, and that's important, but I keep trying to say That's not the most important. The most important thing is this black woman. The most important thing is the black woman. She has to come first. The black community don't want to take care of the black woman. And so I don't have a prayer for the black male. I do not have a prayer for the black male because he's going to die. I don't give a damn what he does. I don't give a damn how many spells he know. I don't give a damn if he's a metaphysical giant. I don't care how many spells he know. I don't care how many spirits he talked to. I don't care how many cults and initiations that he's been a part of. The black male is dead in America. And to the black woman, until that community takes care of that black woman and that black girl and that black womb, until you take care of that, I don't have no prayer for no black man. Not in America. You can't say, because the argument has always been, okay, we need a positive male role model. That's very important, but the black woman needs to be choosing who she's sleeping with. And the black male need to be choosing too, but the black woman, the woman period, in any culture, needs to be choosing who the hell she's sleeping with and getting pregnant by, and a lot of black women did not do that. Well, a lot of black women in inner cities did not do that. Because what I noticed just doing a lot of home health is that a lot of black women, like when I would go to Baldwin Hills and certain areas like Ladera Heights, this is in Los Angeles, a lot of those black women don't have children. If they do, they might have one. So they actually are more careful with their wombs. It's to the inner city black women that produce 20 kids apiece and don't have no baby fathers around. They do have baby fathers around, but those fathers are not that great, because those black males that still come around their children, they don't know how to be a father still. Because to be honest with you, I know people like to talk about these black fathers ain't around, but I'm gonna be honest with you, I do see them. When I did a lot of home health, I did see those black fathers. Okay, when I went to South Central Crenshaw, I saw them black fathers. They are there. They're there, but they don't know how to be a father because they don't really know what that look like. They didn't have that strong male role model, so they don't know what that look like. So anyway, but the black, and a lot of black women like to keep putting this on the black male role model. Yeah, that's important, but that's not more important than the black woman getting herself back in order. She's the one with the womb. She is the one giving birth to him. She is the one carrying him for 6 to 9 months or more. She's the one doing that. So that black womb is the one that needs to be taken care of. That black womb is the one that needs to be nourished. And until that happens, I wouldn't pray for the black male. He's doomed. Until the black woman is taken care of. That's it. But okay, that's it. That's all I gotta say, and I will talk later.